Hello and welcome to another episode of the Day in Film MiniCast. We're on episode 12, I want to say. Maybe this is 11, I'm not too sure, but 12 sounds a little bit more correct. Before we get into the movie that you already know the name of from the title, I have to first ask you to please subscribe and like to the channel and to the video respectively. We are at 96 subs. We are inching closer and closer to 100 subs every day, and that seriously makes me so happy, guys. Like, you don't understand how good it feels to see people positively responding to your videos and your work. You know, it really does mean the most, and all you guys watching, it just means the world to me. But with all that out of the way, let's get on to the movie, because man, I loved this one. I watched today, you already know from the title, Tucker, the Man and His Dream, directed by Francis Ford Coppola, and starring a guy who looks astoundingly like Josh Hartnett, but is actually Jeff Bridges. Man, where do I even start with this movie? I'm watching this movie mainly because it's Francis Ford Coppola, and I'm watching Megalopolis tomorrow. Thank God, I'm so incredibly excited. And I realize that I'm really not all that familiar with Francis Ford Coppola's work. I've seen The Godfather, sure, and The Godfather is a great film on its own merits, but it's really not my kind of movie. I understand why people love it, and I understand why it has as big of a following as it does, but it's really not my kind of movie, and that's perfectly fine. I would have watched Apocalypse Now if it wasn't 3.5 hours long, so the only real Francis Ford Coppola movie I've seen that isn't The Godfather is The Conversation, and I wanted to have a lot more experience, or at least 2 more movies worth of experience in his filmography, because I really want to go into Megalopolis looking for little callbacks and just unique quirks from his directorial style, and oh my god, did I pick a good one. I know it sounds like I'm out of breath and that I'm, talking faster than I normally do, but I'm just so excited for Megalopolis, and I'm so happy I enjoyed this film so much. To summarize the plot, Tucker, the Man in His Dream, follows the real-life Preston Tucker. He was for a brief stint, an automotive manufacturer during World War II, and it follows his journey through the industrial automobile industry and the eventual court case that would basically end his career in that field. And man, if there's one thing I love, it's American the American gumption that this movie preaches. You know, the whole movie kind of preaches this anti-monopoly, like any man can do anything if he really wants, like, message, and I adore it. The way Tucker acts and the character that he is, the whole movie, Preston Tucker is, and in real life too, this is based off a real story. He is in the business 1000% for the love of automobiles and for the love of business. Like, he's not in it for money. He's in it because he knows what he's doing is good for the world, and he wants to make sure everyone in the world has access to one of these cars. And it is so just... There's so many scenes in this movie where everything is being thrown at him. He's getting laws thrown in his way. His investors are getting in his way. Material restrictions are getting in his way. And watching him have to overcome all of these barriers just to make the car that he wants, and watching him persevere and actually make it, is just so inspiring. You know, I don't want to make cars, but I watch this and I feel like, I can really go do anything. If I want to go open up a pastrami shop, then I'll go open up a pastrami shop, or if I want to go make donuts, then I'll make donuts, whatever it may be. Sorry, I'm just a little hungry. Yeah, story is an absolute, banger for me, and the way that Francis Ford Coppola directs a movie like this, oh my god. First of all, the cinematography is outstanding in this movie. The color grading and just the whole camera style is unbelievable. Everything pops so much. It's something about that mid 40s, maybe early 50s aesthetic, in America anyway, that just looks so beautiful, and it's hard not to look at and kind of love, because all these cars are super bright colors, and you see all these kind of old-timey people in suits and women in big dresses, and obviously I didn't live through that, and frankly I don't want to, but just watching it like happen in front of you is just, oh man. And I'll say right now, my love for this movie is definitely heavily based on the music that they use. They use a lot of old 50s music, and they use a lot of original music that sounds exactly like it, and it's hard not to listen to and just love. I'm a huge fan of that genre of music, and I will say that is Fallout's fault, but it doesn't matter where it came from, it matters why. And man, I think it's excellent. The performances are obviously brilliant from pretty much every single actor involved. There are some genuinely like gut-wrenching performances in this movie, and it's hard not to watch without not breaking a tear or anything, but just being emotionally invested. There's no point or no moment in this movie where you feel like the stakes aren't really there. It always feels like this is really like a life or death for the business thing. And again, that brilliant storytelling is in large part thanks to Francis Ford Coppola. He's so perfectly able to tell a story like this, and it's hard not to adore. I know I've said that like 4 times now, but I haven't felt this way about a movie in a while, because it just made me feel so hopeful and so energetic and so happy and so excited to watch Megalopolis tomorrow. You guys will be getting that video actually your tomorrow when you're watching this video. I'm going to be watching it, or I'm going to actually be done with it around the time this video comes out. So get excited, guys, because I am going to have a nice video about Megalopolis for you guys. Sorry, I'm rambling, but I mean, I love this movie. Every character, the Japanese guy and the former Air Force designer guy, Tucker's whole family, the like 12 Dalmatians he inexplicably buys at the start of the movie. It's just, man, it is just so awe-inspiring and beautiful. This is a beautiful movie about the indomitable human spirit and just the way a man or a person is able to rise to the occasion no matter the occasion. But that's all I have to say. I adored this movie, 10 out of 10, no question. But yeah, that's all I have to say. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the theaters.